Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we get started, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Chakodash. Double honor as always to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone who are well and who taught us truth. Today's date is August 21st, 2026, the year of apostate, sellouts, agents, time of Jacob's trouble. Got the brother Lawyer with me, just getting linking up together through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yashai, and putting this lesson on wax. And we'll just leave it like that. What we got today is the signs show us we are close to the end. So the signs that have been revealed unto us through our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, through Yahweh Shem Yashai, the signs that have been revealed unto us shows us that we are at the end of this wicked, perverse kingdom, that we're at the end of wickedness, the end of Esau, Edom, the end of his hegemony, as it reads real quick in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. And that word world is going into eon, which is going to an age, a period of time. And we're seeing the Esau's rulership being brought down before our very eyes, their hegemony. And even though they're going to try to bring about an NWO, really that's their last hurrah. And the signs that we are seeing today, shows us that we are at the end, and that we just have a little bit more to go, a little bit more to endure, until we are finally out of, our afflictions, our trials, our tribulations, our chastisements, our adversities, before, the kingdom comes into play, as it also reads in Revelation 21 and verse 4. Revelation 21 and verse 4, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. So we're seeing these signs happening before us, right before our very eyes, showing us that we're almost to that point where we will have to endure, as well as enter into the kingdom and not receive, any more death, no more sorrow, no more, etc., etc., etc. But it's going to be an everlasting joy, an everlasting happiness, an everlasting exaltation for forever. And that's ultimately to the nation of Israel. The other nations are going to be tributaries. The other nations are going to be under us, under our rule, but they're going to love it as well. They're going to love it, and everything's going to be in its perfect order. But right now we're seeing the signs happening before our very eyes. You got something? So I'm gonna get this real quick as well, as it reads. I was thinking about it earlier. When these things begin to come to pass, lift up thy heads. Lift up heads. Luke 21. And I'm going to start at verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars. And upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Let me see what that says in the NLT. Luke 21 and 25 in the NLT, and it reads, and there will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and here on earth the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. So we just seen two major solar eclipses that came about 2017 and then 2024, and then those two made an X across America. So that made an X across America. You've had plenty of lunar eclipses, plenty of solar eclipses as well. Partial eclipses, partial solar eclipses, red moons, blood moons, constellations, planetary alignments, as the elder Yashwamba was going into earlier today, or really last night, but going into how these things that these people and individuals consider rare, they're not so rare anymore, showing you that we're at the end, because there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars indicating that we're at the end of this wicked kingdom. Verse 26, back in the KJV. men's heart, failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. As it says in NLT, people will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth. For the powers in the heavens will be shaken. So you don't plan it out where you're just going to off your children and then you plead. No, man. And then she gets $1 million. No, she did a GoFundMe and got $1 million. Come on, man. Verse 27. So these people are losing it. Losing their damn minds. Verse 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So we're seeing the signs coming to pass before our very eyes, and we're going to, speaking to myself first and foremost, be circumspect and alert and on our watch for what is to come, because we don't want to be caught off guard when the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua brings these same things to pass. Got some?
Yeah. Sirach 39:1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High prophecy.
So be occupied in prophecies. Occupied in what is happening in the world and society. And so like I'm trying to still up. Turn off this goddamn auto lock.
That's how you know what time. That's how you know what time you in. You know, because you be occupying in the prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
You be seeing it come to pass.
Right. And then the scripture also says in Revelation 19 and verse 10, and it reads, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. So that's the spirit that we ought to be in, should be in, will be in. Paul Starr just did a video yesterday. Prophecies, prophecies, prophecies. You had, I don't know who the individual is, but he said that he would never, say anything bad about GMS. Said when it comes to being an Israelite and keeping the law and to the best of your ability and staying away from 304s and how a unit should be as an Israelite, as a nation, he can never say nothing about GMS. Then he's saying about how IUIC and ISUPK, they're all bullshitting. They're all lies, and they're not going into prophecy. And the Apostle said, yeah, they're not going into prophecies. They're not focused on what is going on right now. They're focused on what is happening in their own little bubble, how they can get money, how they can get a bag and get a greater following. Which those are also signs showing us that we're at the end. False anointed, false prophets spewing madness, man. So we can look at these things going on throughout the earth, war-wise, earthquake-wise, pestilence-wise, AI-wise, false prophets-wise, and see and understand that we are at the end, and we just have to endure just a little bit longer, man. Speaking to myself first and foremost, because we're seeing a lot of dudes like the Apostle deemed this year, the apostates, sellouts, and agents. A lot of things are happening right now, and we don't want to be a part of that number of being, apostates, sellouts, and agents, man.
Let me read something.
Yep.
2 Timothy 2, starting the verse, 2 Timothy 2 and 3, starting at 13, it says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And those are Israelites that are doing that. And really, at the beginning, I believe it goes to the last days, how it's going to be in the last days. Because they're gonna get worse.
Yep.
It says, verse 1, 2 Timothy 3 and 1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And it said, for men shall be lovers of themselves. and that consists of them, the ones that know that they Israelites, first and foremost. So, if they love themselves, they're going to do what's pleasing unto them. They're not going to care about the flock, and we see that.
That's it. They're not worried about the flock. They're not worried about, as the brother pointed out beautifully. They're worried about their own belly, man. They're not worried about the signs that are happening before. They could give a rat's ass about the signs that's happening. They could give a rat's ass that that earthquakes are happening in diverse places right now. That Venezuela got hit by a giant magnitude earthquake, and then Colombia. They don't care about that, man. They're more worried about the following. How can we bring more people into the congregation? How can we get their money? And so on. That's all they're worried about, man. Which, again, is signs showing us, as the brother read in that 2 Timothy, showing us that we're at the end. And when you get that 2 Timothy 3 and verse 1, it says that, perilous times shall come. So perilous times are here, man. And we're entering into those days. Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So even the Yahweh's disciples at the time was inquiring about what are signs that we can look out for and watch for, showing us that we are at the end. They wasn't worried about, okay, so once you're gone, Yahweh, what can we do to bring more following and more people into us? When in the last days, what can we do to bring about our own fame and our own glory, and heap unto us, money and fame and glory on this? They wasn't worried about that, man. They was inquiring about the signs. What are we going to see before the end comes? Verse 4. And Yahweh answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. You just had that individual way back when, Comfy, proclaiming that he was the God-sent comforter, that he was the one that was gonna comfort you. But you seen what happened to him on April Fool's Day. So you have a lot of individuals coming in the name of the Messiah, saying that I'm going to be the one to comfort you. I'm going to be the one to lead you to the promised land. You got the individual, General Yohana, claiming he's King David. You have a lot of individuals that are just bugging out, man. Verse 4, but these are signs. And Yahweh, verse 5, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're seeing these things, wars, rumors of wars, as it's going to read in verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So we're seeing these things. We just seen a major pestilence, pass back in 2019, 2020, going into the familiar disease, the crown 19, speaking in code. And we're seeing nation rise against nation, and the things happening in Western Asia, as the world calls it today, the Middle East, is not slowing up. Look at her. It's not slowing up. It's intensifying. It's ramping up. You just had Trump downplay and basically call out NATO and say, hey, we're leaving NATO. Y'all been bullshitting. We leaving NATO. He's prophesying, man. He's telling you what's about to happen. They about to leave NATO. And then you got Israel talking about in the midst of fighting Iran, which Netanyahu said this like the day before or the day of that they went after Iran back in February 28th, 2026 of this year. He said that our eyes are now on Turkey, and Turkey is a NATO member. So what happens if Israel attacks Turkey? Is America going to intervene? Or is America going to come to the aid of Israel? So we're seeing a lot of things coming to pass. You got Iran, Israel, America, Russia and Ukraine, China, Taiwan, and plenty of other skirmish wars happening around the world. And these things are not slowing up, but only intensifying, man.
Mm-hmm. Mark 3:24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against Satan, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And so, they have an end because they're divided. They're all Edomites, and they're divided against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to stand, just like how we did it. So they're not going to stand.
Yeah, what makes America and these other nations, the Edomite nations, that any better than Israel? When we split, there was nothing that we could do to remain standing. So what makes America and NATO and the BRICS different to where the division is just so great and growing that a fall has to come? No king, like the brother read, no kingdom divided against itself shall stand. We was divided, we fell. America and NATO divided, gonna fall. This society, this world is divided, is gonna fall. You got Democrats, Republicans, which is really just the same two different sides of the same coin. But even within that, you have divisions, skirmishes. So an end is coming, and we're seeing the signs happening before our very eyes. Mm-hmm. 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the Lord is visiting the world, man. And we're seeing him visiting the world through signs, through his words, as it reads in Isaiah 55 and verse 11, that his words will not go out void, but it shall accomplish that which he pleased, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto he sent it. The Lord said these things are going to happen before the end comes, and they're happening, man. And we're measuring the time diligently with these scriptures. We're measuring the time diligently with the prophecy that is coming to pass, man. The prophecy, we're linking up prophecy with what's going on in society, what's going on in the world. A lot of individuals just want to focus on their own little bubble. A lot of people don't even know. I was talking to this one chick. She didn't even know that the U.S. and Israel was attacking Iran and vice versa. How do you not know that? But they don't want to know that. They want to be in their own little bubble and pray to God that it don't affect them. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, we're seeing that, and it's only going to intensify. Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So from the beginning, the Lord said that these things was going to happen, right? Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. End is manifest. Manifest means clear, obvious. It's clear as day that we're at the end. You had a chick. I need to stop talking to goddamn chicks. Chick said that Israel and Iran, man, don't know that. You're dumb as shit. Fucking blonde. Verse 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. So the endings, the end of this society, the end of Esau's age is going to happen in effects and signs. And as we read in that Luke 21 and verse 27, when these things begin to come to pass, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So we're seeing the things happening before our very eyes, and we're watching for the signs, we're watching for the prophecies, and we're linking it up with biblical prophecy and with the scriptures so that we can be on our toes, on alert, and not caught off guard when these things come to pass. Got some?
Yeah. This is Amos 3 and 7. It says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants and prophets. So that's who's able to tell you the prophecies. It's the actual prophets.
Yep.
Because the prophecies are secrets. Not all of them, but the majority of them are. The first woe, the second woe, if you can't put that together, it's World War I, World War II, the third woe. That's easy to, to understand. The chip, And so we're sitting here telling you it's going to be division, you know, your neighbor versus neighbor. You know, ultimately, this society, this kingdom is about to fall. Babylon is about to fall.
Mm-hmm.
So before every kingdom fell, the Lord always had his prophets out there telling you what's getting ready to happen. We ain't out there for no reason. That's what it means too by it saying his word ain't gonna return it to him void. Meaning, when we out there preaching, it's gonna go to the believers. It don't matter if you don't believe. You know, what if some not believe? You know, it's still gonna happen. You're not gonna overthrow your mind. Ain't gonna overthrow what the Lord got set up and what He wants to happen.
At all.
You ain't nothing.
Nope. You ain't nothing, man. It says, thought you was bad. You ain't bad. You ain't nothing. 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, because we know the times that we're in. We understand, and that starts with our apostles, bishops, elders, the great millstone on down. We know the times that we're in. We know the season that we're in. We're not in a season of love. We're not in a season of peace and prosperity and everybody come together and kumbaya. No, we're not in that spirit. We're in a spirit of division. That's what Yahweh Shai said, man. He said that he came not to bring peace, but a sword.
Luke 12.
Yeah.
Luke 12.
And he also said he came to bring fire. And what will he be if it already be kindled?
Because before he comes, it's already going to be kicked off.
Yeah.
You know, and he going to kick it up when he comes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's going to come with the actual fire for judgment.
That's it. Beautiful. So we know the times that we're in, man. And Lord willing, the Lord keeps us in that spirit to continue to understand and to know. Verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So we know that the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. So we're going to be on our watch. We're going to be prepared, as it's going to go into verse 3. For when ye shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of night nor of darkness. So we're not of the night. We're not of the foolishness that this world has, to where we're just ignorant and we just don't know what the hell is going on. We're not ignorant. We see what's going on, and we proclaim what's going on, so that, Lord willing, at the end we can be saved, man. And so that we're not caught off guard. A lot of individuals, they're going to be the majority, not a lot, but the majority, the mass majority of individuals are going to be caught off guard when this thing kicks off. And they're going to be looking like deer in the headlights. And then the only option that they're going to have is to take the chip. Take the chip and everything is going to be okay. Because they don't know any better. They don't know not to take it because they haven't been alert and circumspect. But the prophets have been telling you, don't take that chip. Don't take that chip. Don't take that chip. But they want to continue and scoff the prophets and scoff the men of the Lord, that they're not going to think about that until it's too late. So, yep, go ahead.
When we talk about this, we're not talking, the cause of concern is not for the heathen. It's for, the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Let me tag team real quick.
Yeah.
Romans 11, and I'm gonna break it down a little different, but we'll understand. Romans 11, I'm gonna start at 7. Says, "What then? Israel have not attained that which ye seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded." So right there, it's telling you that the elect of the nation of Israel, when they hear this word, this is what's going to satisfy them. This is what's going to make sense. The prophecies, everything. But it says the rest were blinded. You blinded to the prophecies, certain prophecies, the names of the Lord. That's why a lot of y'all can't get it. You know that you're an Israelite, but you still can't get it. It's because ultimately the Lord had blinded you. Now it says according as it is written, God have given them the spirit of slumber, in which we don't have that slumber spirit. We see what's happening. And that slumber spirit represents you not understanding the full veracity of what's getting ready to happen, of you being an Israelite. You don't understand the full reason and points to the reason why I said that. to the reason why the Lord woke you up. You know, Jacob's trouble. A lot of you niggas don't understand Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is gay. That's what that nigga said, you know. A lot of y'all don't understand, you know, the last days. Even if you're an Israelite, you know, and it's a shame, but the Lord got it that way. It says, eyes that they should not see and ears that they should not hear until this day. And it says, and David said, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. You know, because ultimately, which some Israelites don't believe this, but, you know, you're here, America was set up as a place for judgment for the Israelites, and they're going to be judged. The Edomites, the other nations that's here, you know, because they partook in putting us down, taking us down. So you're going to partake in that, because ultimately you played a role in putting the Lord to death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, y'all were here. I mean, y'all were there in back in the day. You're here today. That's why, you know, your kids go through what they go through, or you done lost kids, so on and so forth. Because that's what you said. Let His blood be upon us and our children.
Yeah.
So you're going through that shit. You know, and you're going to continue to go through that until the kingdom of heaven is established. Really, until the Lord get the final judgment upon you. Then you can be reborn into the kingdom and be refreshed. Be like how you was made to be.
Mm-hmm.
But this message is really just for the Israelites. It's not for no other nations. Well, the message is that you about to go into captivity. That's all you got. Have fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Rejoice and be glad. You got anything else?
No.
God.
I'm gonna get some medicine. Shit.
Yeah, man. We in hell. A lot of things going on. A lot of things happening. But, you know, we're almost home. And, you know, we're going to continue in the flesh, but every day, you know, our spirit is renewed. So continuing to be circumspect, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Remaining on alert, our watch, because we're right there, man. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the spirit, to the body, and to the fold. And before we end it off, we'd like to give our praise, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Chakadash. The one as always to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone. Until next time, Shalom.